Good afternoon. Welcome back to welcome back to the channel, guys. Today, 2/3 of the way through, our fire decided it wanted to take off and burn. We've done alternator testing, and I went to Charlie's and got shift bits. But before we get into anything of that nature, we gotta finish putting this belt back on. Like, I'm not a Ford guy. I don't work on a lot of Fords, but you know what, this job is one of those customers. It's like, I service all of his Volkswagen TDIs for his kids, his RS7, and then he bought this thing and was like, hey, I need you to be able to fix this thing for me. And you know, it's like, what do I say? I don't know how. The reality is we have one of these trucks, so I do work on them. Just don't like them. It's not like they're hard either. They're very easy to work on. It's just, I just like working on my Audis. So Bill was basically on that thing, was complaining, hey, we got a squeak someplace. So on this thing, I think I figured out where the leak's coming from. It's coming from that piece right there. And we're gonna take it off. I don't know if it's maybe just a bad clamp or if it's actually some brittle plastic. But if it's a bad clamp, we're just gonna throw a new hose clamp on it and send it. We're gonna find out though. Shouldn't be that difficult. I know yesterday I was thinking maybe a 5-cent O-ring, but that's not so much the case. Paul, what did we learn from the fire?
It burns very fast. Mulch heats up and
we put ash, well, he put ash on the fire, on the mulch that had been like sitting in the bin for a week.
It had been sitting there for 2 days. I thought it was out.
Yeah, like surprising how hot it still was in there. A little bit of wind and it took right off. So all right, let's see if we got no more squeaky. Hey! So the problem with this thing was we were charging, but it was charging at like 18 volts. And that's what we're trying to get over right now. We can't chip anything until we get it down, because at 18 volts, it's gonna explode the battery eventually. So now this is your on and off switch like a car. Well, that's better. I'll be right back. I need to inspect some stuff here. Hold on. All right, here we go. Take 2 on this. We've done some rewiring, verified a few things. We got power in places. So let's see if it charges now. Give it a go.
The light ain't on.
At all. Is that on?
Yeah.
How's that work?
Wait a minute. It's in the switch. All right, let's regroup here.
This is the process. This all comes because before we brought it inside, it was blowing up batteries because it was overcharging batteries because it wasn't wired right to start with. We are trying to figure out the wiring issue. All right, I'm gonna let him dig into this. I'm gonna get onto that B8 outside. We got the Ford done. Now let's see if we can solve a coolant leak issue. All right, guys, so my thing with Corey's car here is this line, which I'll flip you guys over and go down into the abyss. I think this hose clamp right here is our culprit. We're gonna take it off and check to make sure this line isn't damaged at all. This return hose for the heater core, but I think that might be our culprit. We're gonna find out. So I got the line off and I'm kind of inspecting the line. I'm not seeing any like torn ribs, not even on the inside here. And the fitting down here doesn't feel brittle. Like if it was brittle, it should crumble in my hands usually. And nothing was really like profusely leaking. And usually when something is brittle, especially plastic, it's just gonna keep corroding down and farther until it like nothing falls out. So I'm pretty sure it's just bad hose clamps. So we're gonna throw a set of hose clamps on it, pressure test it and see what happens. A couple new hose clamps, one there. We got this guy going again. We're gonna let it sit here, hang out for a little bit and see if it starts leaking all over the place. Hopefully it doesn't. All right, guys, so here's where remote mount shifter things are at. We've got our shift point back here. Boom, 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 boom. We've got our shift point up here. Boom, 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 boom. We have our adapter to put our shifting rod on, which I'm thinking I'm gonna put this on there. This piece that's scorching hot still. So I'm thinking this piece, we're gonna cut the top half of the eye here off on both ends. And then if you can picture it, this is it's gonna be cut right there. So that'll go in there. The other end of this is gonna attach to the shifter, but we need some more bits. We gotta make a run to Charlie's before they close. BRB. So after making another trip to Charlie's and a sidetrack to Home Depot, we got the bits we need. We got another piece of material tube so that we can make our shift handle. And then in here, we have our bits for the actual remote mount shifter, and then we got the original shifter. So we got a turnbuckle for a fence that we're going to basically weld in just like that. And that's gonna be our connection. My thought here is that the turnbuckle is gonna allow me some adjustment as far as like forward and backwards a little bit if I want it. It might not work that way, but I think it should without a problem. I think ultimately what it's gonna do is gonna just give me that little fine bit of adjustment that I might want. I don't know it, but I'm trying to think ahead of the game. So let's get this stuff all tacked in. I'm pretty stoked here. We're gonna have a shifter in the car. Like, it's a big deal. That means we can shift gears, which means we are one step closer to making this thing move. So let's get this tacked together, all right? Yeah, yeah. All right, well, V1 failed. I had it all tacked together. I was doing one of those things for the gram, trying to test it, and tacked together, fail point. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I have to figure it out though. I'm kind of wondering if I might need, oh, that's warm. I'm wondering if I need a Heim joint in there or something. I don't know what's going on here. I did not realize it's 6:30, which means I'm supposed to be shooting a podcast in a half an hour with Steve Milling, and it's Wednesday, and I thought it was Tuesday. So, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm Audi, and we're gonna figure this thing out tomorrow. Peace. Oh, I got the hiccups.